Creation is where the Bible story begins, and it is where our thinking about LGBTQ must begin. We read in Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 to 29 that God said, "Let us make man in our image, after our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heaven, and over the livestock, and over all the earth, over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth." So God created man in His own image. In the image of God, He created him. Male and female, He created them. And God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the heaven, and over every living thing that moves on the earth." Genesis 1 gives us a wide-angle look at the entire God's creation, and Genesis 2 zooms into the creation of the first man and woman. I would like to quickly point out 5 things from this passage that are helpful for our discussion. Firstly, we are created in the image of God. The climax of God's brilliant creation was mankind. Human beings are the crown of God's creation because only human beings bear God's image, which simply means that human beings have a special relationship with God unlike other creation, and human beings are to represent God on this earth. That's who we are. That's our true identity. This is what gives us dignity. Only God of the Bible gives such intrinsic worth to human beings. No one, no state, no philosophy, no social movement can give humanity more dignity and worth than God. Bible brings great news to everyone who struggles with their identity. Our value and our worth does not come from ourselves or who we think we are. It is God given. Secondly, we have a biological sex. In Genesis 1 verse 21, we read, "Male and female, He created them." We have to accept our biological sex as a good gift from God. There are only 2 genders, male and female. Bible does not separate gender from our biological sex. You could be someone who struggles with gender dysphoria. Our culture says you can become who you want to be. You think, if I change my gender, I will finally be happy. Our culture says your psychology or your mind is your sexual identity. Let your body be conformed to it. The Bible says your body is your sexual identity. Let your mind be conformed to it. Think with me this: a fish that lives in the water wants to fly and become like a bird by jumping out of the water. We know a fish will not become a bird by jumping out of the water because it is created to live in the environment of water for a purpose. Realizing that and living in that condition is true freedom. Thirdly, marriage and sexual intimacy between one man and one woman is the creation mandate. We read in chapter 2 verse 24, "The two shall become one flesh. This is the commandment that is given to a man and a woman," which means that any sexual relationship outside of a heterosexual marriage is not natural and it is not part of God's original design. Fourthly, a man and woman are equal and different. The male and female differences extend to the deepest level of our being. Our chromosomes, our brain, voice, body shape, body strength, our reproductive system are different. If my remains were to be found after 100 years, you will still be able to say it was the remains of a man because I'm a man to the core. But the fact that man and woman are different makes absolutely no difference to the worth, dignity and respect each other deserve. God made men and women different psychologically and functionally, but are equal in worth. God made us different so that we can complement to one another and accomplish different tasks. Fifthly, a man and woman have a mission. In Genesis 1 verse 28, we read that the task God assigned to humanity is to be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it. Humanity's design is tied to humanity's mission to bring offsprings into this world. A man and woman need each other. For humanity as a whole to thrive, even just to survive, man and woman are necessary. This was God's original design for mankind right from the beginning, even before sin entered into this world. Dear friend, let me remind you that you are not an accident or an afterthought of God, but you are created wonderfully by a loving God, and who you are truly matters to God.